Just yesterday, Minnesota's Dean Phillips also making news, saying he's stepping away from a leadership post in the Democratic Party. John Croman, we've had a lot to do, a lot to follow today. I still hope you have your good sense intact to make some sense of what's going on for our people watching tonight.
Politics at the Capitol, Jana, I'm shocked. This all factors into the 2024 election. We start with Dean Phillips, who, he's seen as kind of the voice crying in the wilderness about President Biden's electability, and he has decided now that he can't be part of the Democratic leadership in Congress.
This is not about re-election for me. This is about our country, the future of democracy, and doing anything I possibly can to stop Donald Trump from returning to the White House.
That was mid-August. 3rd District Congressman Dean Phillips made the rounds on national talk shows, saying he'd like to see a Midwestern Democratic governor challenge President Biden.
This is the time to meet the moment. And I'm doing something that I know it's unpopular as a Democrat, but I'm speaking truth. That's my job. My duty is to the people I represent, but also to represent the mass majority.
This, a year after being the first Democrat in Congress to say President Biden should not run for re-election.
Democratic leadership in Congress, they've been uniformly in support of Joe Biden's re-election, with the exception of Dean Phillips. And Dean Phillips has really sort of gone off on his own in his argument that first Biden should not run and there should be another candidate.
But Phillips on Sunday abruptly announced he's stepping down from his post as co-chair of the Democratic Policy and Communications Caucus in the House, writing, "My convictions relative to the 2024 presidential race are incongruent with the majority of my caucus, and I felt it appropriate to step aside from the elected leadership to avoid unnecessary distractions during a critical time for our country."
Will Trump be on the ballot? Will he get the nomination? Would Joe Biden decide not to run for re-election if his opponent was not likely to be Donald Trump? All those things remain to be seen. It's also, I think, risky to bet on the long-term health of anyone who's 80 years old. So there's so many uncertainties going into this election year.
Add to the mix yet another D.C. drama.
Kevin McCarthy's true coalition partner on all things of substance has been the Democrats this Congress. He worked with Democrats on the debt limit bill, and only Democrats are really campaigning on that bill.
Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, a hard-right conservative, wants to topple fellow Republican Kevin McCarthy from the post of House Speaker because McCarthy worked with Democrats to keep the government open.
They elected me to be Speaker, so I made a decision. I thought it was best to keep the government open.
One name that comes up for Speaker, Minnesota Congressman Tom Emmer, said on Twitter, "Tested and proven." That's been the theme of our House Republican majority under Speaker McCarthy's leadership. I'm proud to support the Speaker as we continue championing conservative priorities that put our country on a better path.
I think he understands, Tom Emmer understands, that all the problems that Kevin McCarthy has right now would be his problems, Tom Emmer's problems, if he became Speaker. And I don't think he wants that.
Now, most experts don't believe Matt Gaetz has the votes to oust Kevin McCarthy, but he'll get plenty of buzz going about all this, and it will also further the narrative of infighting among House Republicans. It'll be interesting to see whether Democrats help McCarthy keep his seat or just kind of let him twist. Jana?
Well, like sands through the hourglass, John, but it's interesting that your expert said the exact same thing as political analyst Brian McClung on Friday. What? Tom Emmer's not crazy. He doesn't want to be Speaker of the House, so he can just be led around and told what to do, too.
Yeah, he's very loyal to McCarthy, too.
All right. Well, we'll check back in with you as this unpacks itself. Thanks so much, John Croman.